Have you been feeling tired for no clear reason? Waking up unrefreshed, joints that ache in the morning, a brain that feels foggy by midday? You've had tests done, and the doctor says everything looks fine. But something clearly isn't right. What I'm about to share with you today may be the explanation you've been looking for, and the solution is something you can start tonight, without spending a single dollar. The hidden culprit behind most of these vague, persistent symptoms is something called chronic inflammation. Unlike the acute inflammation that happens when you cut your finger, red, swollen, painful, then gone, chronic inflammation is silent. It burns at a low level, deep inside your body, for months or years. You can't feel it directly, but it is constantly doing damage. Leading medical research has established that chronic inflammation is a shared root cause of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's, dementia, and numerous cancers. Scientists now consider it one of the most dangerous and underestimated conditions of modern life. So what causes it? Poor diet, poor sleep, stress, environmental toxins, these all play a role. But there is one cause that almost nobody talks about: the habit of eating from morning to night, sometimes across a window of 16 to 18 hours a day. When food is constantly coming in, your metabolic and digestive systems never stop working. There is no time for the body to clean itself. And that is exactly where the most remarkable biological mechanism in the human body comes in. In 2016, a scientist was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for discovering how this cleanup system works. The process is called autophagy, from the Greek words for self and eating. It sounds alarming, but it is one of the most beautiful things your body does. Autophagy is your cell's built-in recycling program. When activated, cells identify and break down damaged proteins, dysfunctional organelles, and cellular debris, then repurpose those raw materials to build new, healthy components. Think of it as a factory that collects its own broken machinery, melts it down, and uses the metal to build new parts. When autophagy is running efficiently, chronic inflammation loses its fuel source. Damaged material that would otherwise trigger immune responses gets cleared away before it can cause harm. Here is the key question: when does autophagy turn on? Research consistently shows that autophagy begins to activate meaningfully after about 12 hours of fasting, as insulin levels fall and the liver's glycogen stores begin to deplete. By 14 hours, cellular cleanup is underway, at a level that produces measurable health benefits. A growing body of clinical evidence shows that people who maintained a 14 to 16 hour fasting window for 8 weeks saw their CRP levels, a primary marker of chronic inflammation, drop by an average of 27%. Another inflammatory marker, IL-6, also fell significantly. The brain benefits are equally compelling. Autophagy plays a direct role in clearing the toxic protein buildups associated with Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease. Systematic reviews of intermittent fasting research have consistently found that people who regularly maintain fasting periods show meaningfully slower rates of cognitive decline. The simple act of finishing dinner a few hours earlier may be one of the most powerful things you can do for long-term brain health. Blood sugar regulation improves as well. When food arrives constantly throughout the day, your pancreas never stops producing insulin. Over years, cells become less responsive. This is insulin resistance, the foundation of prediabetes and type 2 diabetes. A 14-hour fasting window gives cells the recovery time they need to restore their insulin sensitivity. In a study of adults over 50, a 12-week 14 to 16-hour fasting protocol produced an 11% improvement in fasting blood glucose and an 18% improvement in insulin resistance scores. Now, 14 hours may sound difficult, but consider this: if you finish dinner at 8 in the evening and eat breakfast at 10 the next morning, you have completed your 14 hours, and 7 or 8 of those hours were spent sleeping. The real conscious fasting time is only 2 to 3 hours. This is why the 14-hour window is widely considered the most sustainable entry point for activating autophagy. The rules during the fasting window are simple: water, black coffee, plain green tea, and unsweetened herbal tea are all permitted. They do not trigger insulin and will not interrupt autophagy. Anything that contains calories, including milk in your coffee, juice, or even a small snack, breaks the fast and turns off the autophagy switch. What should you eat when you break your fast? This matters enormously. Do not start with refined carbohydrates or sugary foods. A blood sugar spike immediately after a fasting period drives a sharp insulin surge that can actually trigger inflammation. The opposite of what you want. Start instead with protein and healthy fats. 2 eggs with avocado, Greek yogurt with a handful of berries, or oatmeal topped with nuts and seeds are all excellent choices. These stabilize blood sugar, extend satiety, and allow the autophagy process to wind down gently, rather than being abruptly reversed. Certain foods also actively enhance autophagy during your eating window. Curcumin, found in turmeric, is one of the best studied autophagy promoters. Add a pinch to rice, soups, or a warm drink. Berries, particularly blueberries and grapes, contain resveratrol, which has been shown to support cellular cleanup pathways. Green tea provides catechins that activate similar mechanisms, and black coffee, even during the fasting window, has been shown to stimulate autophagy while simultaneously suppressing appetite. Here is your practical 7-day plan to get started. On days 1 and 2, track your current eating window without changing anything. Most people discover they are eating across 14 to 17 hours. On day 3, eliminate late-night eating. Just stopping after dinner will naturally create a 10 to 11-hour fast. On days 4 and 5, extend to 12 hours. Finish dinner by 8 and don't eat until 8 the next morning. On day 6, extend to 13 hours. On day 7, reach the 14-hour goal. Finish dinner by 8 and eat breakfast at 10. Once this pattern is established, it quickly becomes effortless. A few critical cautions. If you take medication for diabetes, especially insulin or drugs that stimulate insulin secretion, consult your doctor before starting. Fasting carries a real risk of hypoglycemia in these cases, and medication doses may need to be adjusted. Pregnant and breastfeeding women should not practice intermittent fasting. Anyone with a history of eating disorders should work with a healthcare provider before attempting any fasting protocol. If you experience dizziness, heart palpitations, or cold sweats during the fasting window, end the fast immediately and eat. The body you are living in right now already contains one of the most powerful healing systems ever discovered. You do not need to buy anything or take anything to activate it. You just need to give it time. 14 hours. Tonight, finish dinner a little earlier. Tomorrow morning, wait a little longer before breakfast. And in the quiet hours in between, your cells will be doing exactly what they were designed to do: cleaning house, clearing inflammation, and rebuilding themselves stronger than before. If this video helped you, please like and subscribe. Share it with someone who has been feeling tired and unwell without explanation. More is coming.